My name is Grace Coulthurst, and I am an Associate Director of Programmatic at PHM, and I cover a variety of brands across many therapeutic areas.
Amazing. I'm super excited to talk to you today. We're talking about optimization and precision marketing, which I know we both have had a lot of experience in. I'm curious, when you think about precision marketing, how has it changed today compared to maybe where we were even just 2 or 3 years ago?
So historically, I feel like programmatic was seen as a channel itself. And in the past few years, we've really put an emphasis on the fact that programmatic is a buying method with many different channels that fall under it. We're seeing a lot of change in the agility and the precision and like how accurately we're able to reach our patients and our HCPs. We're becoming more nimble there, and we're seeing channels like point of care become programmatic. And
Yeah.
it helps us drive those efficiencies the brands are looking for. We've always put a lot of emphasis on our third-party audiences, whether it's diagnosed patients, likely treating patients, or even lapsed patients. And it's even more important now that we're telling the stories through our campaigns to truly connect those audiences.
That's super interesting. I'm curious, can you talk about maybe a time or a moment where you've had optimization or precision marketing that has like actually changed the outcome of a campaign? Can you talk a little bit about that? What happened?
Yeah, so some of the brands that I've historically worked on are in the oncology and rare disease portfolios, and those brands will typically have smaller budgets. It's a
Mm.
smaller patient population, a smaller population of HCPs diagnosing, so
Harder to reach.
harder to reach. So their dollars need to go so much further.
Yeah.
So we have seen different brands move dollars from direct IO to programmatic because you're able to do more with the dollars that they're investing in programmatic and expand the reach compared to maybe working with one endemic partner. And now we're able to reach patients wherever they might be across the internet.
Are you finding that precision is a bit easier with programmatic versus an alternative buying model? Or I know that you had mentioned audiences, right? So are you finding that it's a bit easier to find those niche populations within programmatic?
It's becoming easier as time goes on. We work really closely with partners like yourself and other audience providers where we're able to tap into audiences that are modeled off of patients of likely HCPs of our target lists. And it helps us make sure that we're accurately reaching those patients.
Yeah, that integration is super huge. And I'm curious, like, how you balance, especially, even with smaller populations, honestly, larger groups too. How are you balancing the media and the business metrics and impact, and not necessarily just reporting on surface level performance?
I always say that programmatic and business intelligence need to be best friends.
Mhm.
It's really important that our stories are coming full circle and being told accurately.
Yeah.
We work hard on making sure that we're communicating all our tactics and our targeting types with BI so that they understand what what those tactics are doing and what the intention is.
Yeah.
Why a retargeting audience is important because it's a small population, but those are hand-raising patients or HCPs that went to the brand website to find out more.
Mhm.
So making sure that our back-end metrics are telling the story that we see, and like front-end metrics again are so important because it helps us optimize creative messages and changing channel breakouts so that we know what is effective for reaching patients and HCPs.
So you talked a lot about patients and HCPs, and I still see it now where people are treating them separately and siloed. Can you talk a little bit about, and I think you briefly mentioned this, but can you share a little bit about what that coordinated effort actually looks like? And has that been able to deliver measurable lift for you?
Yeah, so for a truly integrated campaign between HCP and DTC, the media is so important in informing both audiences.
Mm.
We need to make sure that the HCPs are informed when a new treatment comes to market. They can't prescribe a treatment they don't know about. So that's where it's really important that our message is getting out there, that they're seeing the banners to learn more about the new treatments. They're going to the brand website. Then it's also important that our patients are familiar with treatment options that are available to them.
Yeah.
And in that same vein, a lot of times any video ads that we're running, whether it's CTV, or online video, often there's not an HCP specific video. So we're using DTC ads for that, which helps because then our doctors are familiar with the way patients are being marketed to. So then they are anticipating the questions that the patients are coming to them with.
Yeah, I think that priming of the audience is so huge. Obviously, I work for DeepIntent, but I'm curious how you've leveraged the DeepIntent platform to make sure that those integrated efforts are working. Are you using things like outcomes? Are you assessing that measurable lift across both parties, or how are you activating and leveraging the tools available versus maybe a different platform?
Yeah, so with DeepIntent, we're very familiar with outcomes and seeing the script lift between patients who their doctors were exposed to media, doctors that weren't exposed to media, and just seeing that measurable lift, which
Yeah.
it's really cool to see that it's working. We do quarterly QBRs with your team, Jen, which is always so fun to see like the impact of our HCP and DTC campaigns together. And it really helps us drive the story of why an integrated campaign is so important.
Yeah. Have you found this to be unique in the market? Are there other avenues that are doing the same thing? Is DeepIntent special?
I think DeepIntent is really special because of how robust the outcomes platform is. It lets us get a really granular view of every audience that we have running. It shows the coordinated efforts between both HCP and DTC. I know a few years ago, we started using like the integrated dashboard to show the impact of those two together. So it's really great to be able to quickly hop into an outcomes dashboard to validate our performance.
Yeah. Whether it's, between channels or teams or data sources, can you talk a little bit about how your organization has been able to break down some of those silos? I know that you guys work really closely with the BI team, but I'm curious across other departments and avenues within Publicis, how are you actually breaking down some of these silos in order to actually really make a truly holistic program come to life?
It's so valuable that our team is promoting a culture of education and collaboration. Historically, we will do ad hoc programmatic 101s with other channel teams, with strategy, with brand teams too, so that they understand what we do on a day-to-day. Programmatic is so nuanced and it's sometimes complex, and not everyone always knows what we do. They hear about DSPs, they hear about DeepIntent, but they don't know what our day-to-day looks like.
Yeah.
So, breaking down those walls and helping people understand what we do lets them feel more confident and comfortable talking about what their programmatic team is doing every day. And it makes it really helpful and provides more of an impact when other people outside of just programmatic can like vouch for the importance of it in a campaign.